The expectations that I had coming into this program were that I was basically willing to see if teaching and a teaching career was right for me. One thing that I found out very quickly was that it was, and that a lot of the training that I had taken in my university studies, where I did graduate with anthropology, but I had taken education courses because I considered it as a profession. And I was able to see the overlap that even though I was taught these principles and these theories in one country, they were able to easily carry over to another. So my expectations for the language assistant program were that I was going to have an active role, that I was going to be able to help make decisions, that students were going to see me as a role model and a leader, and those expectations were not only fulfilled, but they were absolutely surpassed with the school that I was placed in. I was lucky enough to get a school semi close to the center. It's in La Paz. Um, and some characteristics of the school is that it is a bilingual school, and that the school itself has a lot of diversity. I am no stranger to Spain. I have lived in Andalusia, specifically in Granada, before, and I have noticed that certain parts of the country lack diversity a little bit more than others. So, one of the things that I noticed about the school right off the bat was that diversity existed. There are students who come from Peru, there are students who come from France, students who come from Italy, students who were born and raised here in Spain. There are students that are familiar with the United States. There's students that are familiar with some of the countries that kids their own age in the United States don't even know exist. Um, One of the things that I really, really did admire about my school was that they have a policy that we are not able to give private tutoring lessons to the students. Because it creates an uneven playing field where some students that come from a higher socioeconomic status or a higher socioeconomic class would be able to advance further than their peers. Aside from that, I think other features of the school was that I enjoyed the dynamic that exists within the school, within the community. The teachers all get along, and on top of getting along, they also do joint efforts. If one is out, then the other one will cover, and that was something that I really, really admired. I also really enjoyed how some of the classes I'm in are completely in English. Most of the English classes I am in are in English, and when the students truly can't understand anything and the teacher isn't able to meet a common ground, I am either able to step in or we are temporarily able to switch into Spanish for 1 or 2 minutes to clear up any confusions. Um, the students at my school have absolutely surprised me with not only how smart they are, but with how much culture they know. In one of the sixth grade classes that am a language assistant in, my students had to write about different idols and different role models, and a lot of them chose people from the United States pop culture figures such as Melanie Martinez, but also some chose athletes like Shaquille O'Neal, and it was incredible to see how the students at my school were so aware of not just a language, but an entire culture that existed behind it. And ultimately, I think that my contributions to the language assistant program is something that is very visible. I think that when I come into a school and I tell students I am from the United States of America, every now and then I would get a student who'd be like, "Ay, pero se ve chino," or "Oh, he looks Chinese," and I would have to pretend like I didn't know what they said. But I think that's one thing that I have made it my mission, and one thing that I'm contributing to is that I am showing them the United States is not just a country of white European descendants, but instead it is a country of immigrants. It is a country that is diverse. It is a melting pot. And we may not always agree on the same thing, but one thing is that it is a land of opportunity, and that people like me are just as American as Donald Trump, as Joe Biden, as Jennifer Lawrence. And I think that that is a powerful contribution that I've been able to make to this program. That and also how I have made it my goal and my mission to ensure that students grow confidence in themselves when speaking a language. I have one student that I asked him, I said, why do you not like participating? He was like, because my English is bad. And then whenever he does get words out, I'm like, your English isn't bad. Your English is great. Like, you're learning this. Like, you are making attempts. And in the end, that's all that matters.